Fusion food is a thing of beauty if it's done correctly, and Harry Butterfield is here to show us that it can be done. Poland and Thailand?
That's correct. Yeah.
Interesting. What are we making?
So today we're making cabbage rolls that are stuffed with a prawn mousse and then served with a prawn bisque. So we're using every part of the prawn here, the shell, the meat. It's all going into this dish.
This is actually quite clever, and I'm actually quite excited to try this because it makes sense. It actually makes sense when it all comes together. So what have we been doing over here?
All right, so here I've just got my prawn shells just hard roasting. So we've peeled that, we've got our meat over there.
Yes.
This is probably the most crucial step in making a good prawn bisque.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you do all these little steps right, it's going to be an absolute banger of a dish.
Yep.
So we're getting a nice bit of colour on there.
Yep.
What I'll get you to do, Justine, we're going to chop our lemongrass here and our ginger.
Okay.
Half the lemongrass we're going to put into our bisque, and then the other half is going to go into the food processor for our mousse.
Okay, so that just sort of just gets torn a bit.
Yeah, give it a bash with the back of your knife. Just give it a, that white bit too. It's an awesome bit there. Just, don't have to be gentle. Be careful, but not gentle. So into the bisque here, I'm going to add our onion. And we've got carrot and celery. So just a standard mirepoix going in there.
I love how you're using all of the prawn. Nothing is wasted.
Well, the shells are honestly like one of my favourite bits of the prawn. You know, when they get crispy and heaps of colour on them, they're crunchy. They're like little chips. Really hard to beat.
Absolutely. And how did you come up with a dish like this?
Just through wanting to do something different, really. Like, I love cabbage. Cabbage is, I mean, it's definitely in my top 5 vegetables of all time. I think it's an underrated hero. There's just so much flavour. I love cabbage.
It's versatile too. You can eat it raw, cooked, like say, use the leaves as little parcels, which is what we're doing today.
Definitely. So into here, I've got the ginger that you've cut up, and we've got our lemongrass.
Okay.
So our onion's starting to soften up here. And Justin, I might just get you to run the knife through the lemongrass. So it's quite a fibrous plant.
Okay.
So we want to get it nice and fine before it goes into the blender.
Sounds good. I'm on to that.
And now into here, I'm going to add tomato paste. And we'll give that another stir through.
I love how we've said it's a fusion dish with Thai flavours. The Polish idea of using stuffed cabbage leaves.
Stuffed cabbage, yeah.
There's also a bit of French in there too with a bouillabaisse.
It
That's
is.
what we're doing.
Wow, we got the triple fusion going on here.
Triple fusion.
Yeah.
Very nice.
As long as it's not confusion, then we're all good.
Exactly.
All right, so the tomato paste will start to like caramelise and again just get beautiful colour and caramelisation going on in there.
Right.
And then another French technique, we're going to deglaze with Shaoxing wine.
Yeah.
If you don't have Shaoxing wine, you can use cooking sake. If you don't have that, use some white wine.
Yep.
You know, it's all going to do a similar job. And again, I'm going to give that a good stir because what that wine's going to do is just lift all of those, bits that are stuck to the bottom of the pan, all the yummy bits. That's how you get all that off and infused into the bisque.
It smells good. I'm going to pop that into our blender.
Absolutely. So that can go in. We can put the prawn meat in too.
Okay.
And then we've just got to chop up the garlic, the chilli, and the Makrut lime leaf.
Okay, so we've got quite a lot of prawns here.
Yep, so there's about 700 grams of prawn meat.
Yep.
That's going to get blitzed into like a beautiful sort of moussey paste. And then we're actually going to chop up the balance of the prawns into nice chunks. So that way you get a bit of different texture going on in there.
Absolutely. And I'm just giving my food processor a helping hand here.
Yep.
It's always nice, particularly if you're making a mousse with prawns, to just chop up, like we say, the fibrous lemongrass and the chilli, so everything blends in the same amount of time.
Definitely,
and chops the same.
Yeah.
How much? This is a spicy one.
That is a spicy one, that one. So we'll probably go half the chilli.
Okay.
If you're a bit intolerant to spice, you can always remove the seeds, and that way you get the flavour of the beautiful chilli, but without all that intense heat.
Okay.
So now into this bisque, I'm going to add our tinned tomatoes. Like so.
It's going to give it a gorgeous deep red colour too.
Yeah, it's not only yummy, but it's visually beautiful. And we're just going to add fish stock. There's about 600 mils there.
Okay.
And it should just cover the shells. And we're going to bang this lid on like that.
And how long does that cook for?
So a prawn bisque, I normally cook for 30 to 40 minutes. It's just until you get those nice red oils released from the prawns and float on the surface.
Yeah. Very good.
Awesome. We'll move on to our mousse here.
Okay, so we've got our prawns in there, our garlic, lemongrass and chilli. What's next?
Yep, so next we'll roll up our Makrut lime leaves and chop them.
Okay.
So again, like leaves like this, they're quite fibrous. So if you roll them into a little cigar shape like so, and then we'll just run our knife through it. it just adds such a nice like freshness and, you know, citrusy notes without things being overly like acidic.
Yes.
If you know what I mean. So yeah, we'll add that straight into the blender.
Okay.
And then this mousse is super simple. We'll go egg white.
Egg white in.
Egg white in. We've got fish sauce.
How much fish sauce?
Look, I'd go a couple of tablespoons, but again, I love salty food, so it can be quite an intense sauce, so you can always add more later.
Okay.
Yep, and then our corn flour.
Yep, that's going to bind everything together.
Yep. So the egg whites and the corn flour, they'll bind it together. We've got our coconut cream here. That'll go in just to keep things nice and moist and juicy.
I love the flavour of the coconut too.
Yeah, it's so yummy. Fantastic. So we'll put the lid on that now and we're going to pulse it into a nice mousse. I'm going to chop up our prawns here. So we've got those chunks folded through the mousse. And then we're going to put that in the fridge to chill for about half an hour just while we finish our stock.
Sounds great.
All right, our bisque is ready. Yep. So we've strained that into the pot. We're going to add some coconut cream here. Okay. And that's just going to help to thicken it, but just give it that rich, beautiful, silky texture.
I could just have that as a dish in itself.
100%, yeah.
So delicious.
Imagine some like prawn ravioli or something in there.
Oh, now you're talking.
Yeah.
Yes. Cabbage rolls though.
Cabbage rolls, yeah, 10 times better.
This is like a brand new invention. I've never seen this being done before. You're onto something.
Cool, so I'll just stir that coconut cream through and now that's just going to reduce while we work on our cabbage rolls.
All right, now, cabbage. This is, usually you would boil this to take the actual leaves off. What have you done here?
Definitely, there's going to be a lot of Eastern European grandmas watching this being like, what are you doing? But we've frozen this cabbage overnight.
Yes.
That's just softened it up. So now it's defrosted and you can see these leaves will just peel off like that. So it just saves you going to the effort of, you know, putting it in a pressure cooker.
That is a tedious step when you're making cabbage rolls, boiling it, trying to take it out of the hot water. It's heavy, you've got to drain it.
Definitely. So now, like you can see that's, you know, zero work. Like we put that in the freezer, now it's defrosted and it's super pliable. You can roll that up, make a nice little parcel, which is what we're going to do.
I actually think the Eastern European grandmas that are watching this are going to like this tip a
life
lot.
hack, yeah. Definitely.
So I'll pass you.
Thank you. Yeah, if you want to just grab a couple more leaves off.
Yes, I can do that.
I'll fill this one. Yep. So roughly 100 grams, just eyeballing it. And we're going to put it in the base there.
Okay.
And I'm just going to cut out the thick part of the core here.
Yes.
Just so it's easier to roll and nicer to eat.
Yep.
And from there, super simple. We're just folding the sides in.
Okay.
Like any cabbage roll and just giving it a nice little tuck around like that. And that's our cabbage roll.
Perfect.
So we'll roll up a few more.
Yes.
And then we'll get to frying.
Okay.
Okay, we've sealed off our cabbage rolls here.
Yep.
And I'm just going to make sure that the fold side is down so they don't open back up.
Good idea.
And now we're just going to ladle in our bisque.
Yep.
Like that. You don't need them fully submerged, but just like they're having a nice little bisque bath, I think.
Yep.
Go lid on and let them steam for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got our cabbage rolls there. We're going to finish this sauce with some lime. Okay, you do the lime for sure, and then we'll just give that a taste. Just stir. Yeah, the lime just lifts it, brightens it up, tastes amazing. So we're going to pour this onto our rolls.
I love the dish choice too.
Yeah, it's
Old
very
school.
old school. I feel like this is a modern take on an old school dish.
Absolutely. Yep.
There we go. So we've got our bisque, and I'm just going to finish this with a little bit of coconut cream. What that's going to do is just give this dish a little bit of fattiness, and it looks really cool.
If you look at this dish right now, you would say, oh, that's a Polish dish.
Yep.
There's going to be pork mince in there and some rice, but then you put coriander on top. You're like,
Coriander.
oh, hang on a second, what's
Yeah.
going on here?
Yeah, for
Fantastic.
sure. And when you cut into it, the smell of all those fragrant, herbs and ingredients, yeah, it's truly delicious, and I can't wait for you to taste this one.
All right, fork each.
Thank you.
Got a little sharp knife here. Oh, okay, how about over here? So tender. And look at the prawn meat, perfectly set. Drench it
Absolutely.
in the bisque.
If you don't finish it, fill up a glass and just drink it.
That's a real play on the senses, isn't it?
Absolutely.
There's a bit of chilli there, not too much, but it's there. And it's just very aromatic because there are so many flavours. The lemongrass comes through. Harry, this is such a clever dish. I just love it.
Everything just works together in harmony.
It does.
It's all wrapped up in this beautiful leaf of cabbage.
Yum, yum, yum. I cannot wait to make this for my next dinner party.